Hi, this is Dr. Dara, and you are with me with Truth with Dr. Dara. And today we're going to talk about relationships. And for those of you who are just joining in or are not realizing that I'm even doing this now, this is my second shot at it. Talk about relationships. My relationship with my computer was a little challenged this afternoon. And when I did it the first time, it turns out that I was recording sideways. So if you caught me earlier, it might have felt a little off balance because I was. So I thought I would give it a shot and go at it again. So here we are. So if you're just joining in, please go ahead, say hi, Mari, hi. Oh my gosh, hello in Israel. And the rest of you who join in, please just leave me a comment right down below and I'll scroll through and I'll get to any questions. So today we're talking about relationships. It's a big topic, right? Because no matter who you are, you're in a relationship. Whether you're in a relationship when you're talking about family, whether you're talking about a relationship, an intimate relationship with friends, with food, with anything you're doing, there's always a relationship. And as I joked about, I had a relationship earlier with my video technology that didn't work so great. But like anything, you have to be fluid and flexible and can't be stuck in rigid expectations, which is often what gets us stuck in relationships. Earlier this week, I did a vlog and I talked about being the coach of your own team, because anytime in a relationship you want to be the one that's going to decide the plays and get to choose how things are going to be. The Truth with Dr. Dara question that I got asked earlier in the week was about how if you are feeling like you should be happy and you're supposed to be happy and you're not feeling happy, and especially this time of year, our society and our culture puts all this emphasis and energy that you're supposed to be okay, be happy, be blissful, but often we feel lost in the midst of all that. So it's not the sadness that gets us stuck, it's that feeling guilty about the sadness that we think we're not supposed to have that becomes so problematic. And so again, being the coach of your team is critical. Hi, Jennifer. I see you were able to get back on again. Awesome. Thanks for coming. So being your own coach is so, so important. And what I mean by being your own coach is going ahead and picking your players. See who is going to be the most intricate part of your team. Who is going to be the one that you want to put in during every circumstance, and who are the players that you're only going to use sometimes. And with that said, there might be people that you consider part of your first string right now that you may want to have them as your second string. And there might be some that you don't even want them on your team anymore. This week in my post in my challenge, the 45-day challenge that I've been doing in the Truth with Dr. Dara group, I posted a couple things that I thought were kind of fun, but yet so true to heart. One of the posts was about clearing out your Rolodex. I know some of you don't even know what a Rolodex is, right? That's the contacts on your phone. And the idea with that is get rid of your booty calls. Get rid of the contacts that you have that create a negative energy. And when you see their name, you get a pit in your stomach. Get rid of that, because that energy is blocking good energy, positive energy, new people that give you like a good feeling from coming in your life. So get rid of that shift, clear it out. Another thing I did in the challenge this week, which was today, asking people to clear out their closet. I know, right? You might say to me, Dara, that's ridiculous. Clean out my closet, clean out my Rolodex. Get rid of this stuff that has no importance so you can make space for things that are of value and feel good to you and will be good to have done. So I know some of these tasks can be daunting, like cleaning out your closet. Just put a bag there and let's do it one piece at a time. Every time you go in the closet, clear out another piece. So by doing that, I think that that's applicable in relationships too, because often we're thinking we have to get it all done instantly. I'm proposing that we do one piece at a time. For some of you, we're live on Facebook and we're also live on Instagram. So forgive me as I'm trying to keep track of who's where and who's on first and who's on second. So welcome to some of you who have just joined as we're talking about relationships and being the coach of your own relationship team, setting a tone and setting your what you want to bring into 2019, but not what you want to do then, what you want to do now. So doing it in increments, cleaning out a closet and doing it one piece at a time. Maybe it feels overwhelming. So I'm proposing also that when it comes to relationships, that we don't have to get rid of every single relationship. In fact, don't do anything with the relationships you have. The only relationship I want you to focus on is you, because you're your foundation. Which leads me into the second question that I get, which is, will I ever be happy in a relationship? And at the end of the day, no, you will not be happy in other relationships if you are not happy in your own relationship with yourself. You know, water seeks its own level. If you're feeling awful and you're not doing the things that you want to be doing, you are not going to pick partners that are going to be the kind of people that you want to have long term. If you're feeling kind of whiny and negative, you're probably going to end up hanging out with somebody who's whiny and negative, whether it be friends or in an intimate relationship or even your family. You ever notice that when you're in a complaining mood, you call somebody else that you can collaborate, right? Because misery loves company. So being in a happy relationship is also defining what happiness is to you, because happiness is a fluid state and it's always changing for us. And it's not the same for one person as it is for another person. Hi, Debbie, who just jumped on, and I see a couple more of you who jumped on. So please, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down here in the corner. So happiness is a evolving, revolving, because sometimes it repeats itself, definition, and understanding what it is that you want your intention to be with relationships is really important. So the other aspect of it is identifying happy for you and identifying what happy is can look like, what you want it to look like, and an as is sale. I know that sounds pretty silly, right? But if you went to go buy some new clothes and it was an as is sale, it would mean that you got it just the way that it is. It means you can't return it for it being any different. Oftentimes in relationships, we set these unfair expectations, or we go into it thinking, well, right, they're going to do this, but then when they do this, it'll be even better. Or when they lose weight, or when this happens, or when that friend gets that job, then the relationship will be ideal. Or like Jerry Maguire said, you complete me. Well, it's not about them completing you. But the as is sale is when you meet somebody, you are good with them as is they are in that moment. So they don't have to change or shift, because don't expect that they're going to change any more that you want them to think that you're going to change. So as is sale is very critical in a relationship. So hashtag as is, no returns, no refunds, just the way that it is in that moment. And also it sets a nice tone, because then you're not trying to change them and they're not trying to change you, and you get to enjoy each other for the way that you are now. In family relationships, that gets a little wonky, right? Because you didn't choose them. Well, you know what? They didn't choose you either. And you still have that possibility of finding that connection of what does work for you guys, opposed to what doesn't work for you. So I'm going to move into the next question. And that's about, I keep choosing the wrong people. Well, again, you choose people. If you really want to know how you're doing in life and relationships, kind of take a look at the people that you're hanging with. If you're hanging with some good quality people, that says something about you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? What is surrounding you is where you're at and who you are. And the idea is that you have a love cup. Silly, right? A love cup, think of a funnel, like if you were putting it in a bottle and it had a narrow top and you were feeding it in through the top of it. In that funnel, you would lose everything that would come out unless you sealed the bottom. Well, you're the bottom. You are the foundation. And the foundation of you is getting physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. And as that's solidified, then other people can add into it. But what happens is we're often seeking out for other people to fill that up. And then you get a terminal case of enough-itis, where it is never enough and nothing is enough. And you get feeling lost, or you're feeling like you haven't been satisfied. So as you're setting yourself up physically, emotionally, and spiritually, physically meaning taking care of your needs with food and exercise and rest and your schedule, then you feel good. So then it transitions over to what you look for in a relationship. If I am good with me, the optical lens that I look out is I look for that in other people. I set different boundaries into others as I set them for myself. Example is if I'm a mess with my sleeping patterns and I answer people's calls at 11, 12 o'clock at night, I'm often welcoming all of their drama and their stimulus and their energy late at night. But if I had set that precedent with myself that my phone goes off at 9 o'clock and I'm not going to take any more calls, because the truth of the matter is, if you're answering a call at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, there's a 50-50 chance that it's a pleasant call or a not so pleasant call. But with that, there's energy around it and it's getting into your world. So if you want to keep your world quiet and soft at that time, there's nothing that can't wait till tomorrow. And if you put your phone on sleeper and they call back 2 times, then you know it's an emergency. Just a little tip, if you to how to put your phone into sleep mode, you can set it up so that they wake you up so you're not missing anything. And that isn't that like part of the thing of FOMO when it comes to relationships, always worried the fear of missing out. Well, you're not missing out on anything. In fact, they're missing out on you. And what they need is you as your best self, strong, solid, and able to give. So that physical foundation is critical. And then it transfers over into your relationships, into your emotional. And then on spiritually, feeling grounded and connected and believing in things greater than yourself. So with those things in mind, that's how you have a full love cup. And when your love cup is full, then you attract other people that are solid and strong and their love cup is full, because one needy person plus another needy person is just two needy, chaotic people. And we're looking for one whole person plus another whole person as being two whole people. And once again, this stands true whether it's an intimate relationship, a family relationship, a friendship, any relationship. And the relationships that you're having is integrity. It carries over. Don't think that if you have chaotic relationships with your family, you're not going to have chaotic relationships in an intimate relationship. They seem to repeat themselves. So setting the foundation is imperative. And first, it starts with you. So the next question is, I don't think that I'm in the right relationship and I continue to stay in it. I often feel very guilty. Well, guilt is less than useless. I mean, where in your life does guilt have value? Sometimes people think that it provides with motivation, but what does somebody say who's guilty about having a drink? They go have another drink. What does somebody do when they feel guilty about eating a piece of pie? They go eat another piece of pie. So guilt is not of any value or strength to us. Guilt, in fact, gets your mind all jaded and blocked from thinking beyond or being clear. I don't want to drive next to somebody who's guilty because that could get in the way of me being in the car with my kids, and their guilt would have them running into me and cause an accident. So I need people clear and free of guilt. And in relationships, because most importantly, if I'm feeling guilty, I am teaching other people that I'm okay with feeling guilty. In fact, in relationships with kids, that's imperative. If I am guilty as a mom in that relationship, I then am teaching my daughter that she is supposed to feel guilty about the things she does, and teaching my son that the women in his life are supposed to feel guilty, because I have not heard any men when they drop their children off at childcare be asked, so do you feel guilty about leaving your kids all day? But yet mothers sit around talking about it day in, day out, and so on. It doesn't mean that fathers don't feel a sense of guilt when they leave their child, but I'm not thinking it's to the same degree, because that's not the way that our society is viewing it. So in that relationship, of thinking you should feel guilty that you haven't broken up or separated from them sooner than you have is not going to be of any value. In fact, my proposal is we don't even worry about the relationship. Don't even try to do anything different. Don't try to change it. Don't try to break up. Don't try to even make it any better. Where the effort goes is into your relationship with yourself, and doing it in a way that you're adding on a little bit every single day. You hear a lot of people talking about, oh, what I'm going to do in 2019. Well, let's cut the bullshit on that one. Let's talk about what you can do today. How can you increase that relationship with yourself right now in this moment, not in an hour, but right now? The last question I have that I want to address today is, I feel sad because I'm concerned about being alone for New Year's. How can I be okay with that? Well, what comes to mind for me is I know that there have been times that I have felt my loneliest, and it has been around other people. And I want to say that has got to be the worst feeling, to be in a room or in a relationship and with someone that you're supposed to be having a special moment and feeling so alone, or being with family and friends that are supposed to be so close and feel such a connection, but yet you feel so alone. So loneliness is about perspective, and the idea of thinking that you're supposed to do something, certain things over New Year's in order for that to mean something is really bogus. I love the idea of spending time and doing things on New Year's that would be great that you would like to do. In fact, I abort the whole idea of it being around New Year's and ask yourself right now, if today is your new year, how are you going to spend tonight? How are you going to spend today? So today can be practices moving forward towards next year. So I say blow the whole idea of worrying about whether you're with somebody or not with somebody for New Year's, because the most important person you are with, and that's you. And I don't need you to love yourself, because if you want to love yourself, go get a private room. I need you to just focus on what would be good to have done and what's one more thing that you could be doing that would increase it, and so you could be your best self. So this is Dr. Dara, Truth with Dr. Dara. Keep the questions coming. You're welcome to post them in my private Facebook group, Truth with Dr. Dara, anytime, or you can email me or message me over Facebook or Instagram. My email is dara@drdara.com. Be sure to make sure you're getting my newsletter, and you can sign up for that at www.drdara.com for my monthly newsletters and other updates, and so we can stay connected. Have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Another Facebook Live coming in 2 weeks, and it's going to be the skinny on weight loss. Also, I will be starting to do Facebook Live weekly. Got to up the game. That's my goal and my intention. So look forward to talking to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.